Welcome back to the Ed Show. The right wing is so desperate to keep Senate Bill 5 in Ohio, they have literally twisted the words of a great-grandmother. This is no exaggeration. You see, there are two ads out there on Senate Bill 5 as the battleground heats up. One is the real thing and the other is a lie. Here's the real thing, using the testimonial of a great-grandmother, Marlene Quinn.
When the fire broke out, there wasn't a moment to spare. If not for the firefighters, we wouldn't have our Zoe today. That's why it is so important to vote no on Issue 2. Issue 2 makes it illegal to negotiate for enough firefighters to do their job. And these firefighters, they know what they need as far as equipment and manpower. How many of those politicians in Columbus have fought a fire? Fewer firefighters can mean the difference between life or death. And that's why I'm voting no on Issue 2.
Now, here's the lie commercial from a group calling itself Building a Better Ohio.
When the fire broke out, there wasn't a moment to spare. If not for the firefighters, we wouldn't have our Zoe today.
She's right. By voting no on Issue 2, our safety will be threatened. Without Issue 2, communities will need to lay off hardworking firefighters to pay for the excessive benefits of other governments. Issue 2 protects our communities from losing those who protect us.
Fewer firefighters can mean the difference between life or death.
Vote yes on Issue 2.
Righties will do anything to win, won't they? Marlene Quinn obviously opposes Senate Bill 5, saying it could make the difference between life or death. And in a statement, she said, "I think it's dishonest and downright deceitful that they would use footage of me to try to play tricks and fool voters. I feel violated," she says. A lawyer for Building Better Ohio said that the group did nothing wrong. But the ad is so obviously misleading, 30 television stations pulled it from their airwaves in Ohio. The governor of Ohio, John Kasich, told the Associated Press that the ad was just fine. And remember, even when Senate Bill 5 was being pushed through the legislature, Ohio Republicans were strong-arming people. They yanked a fellow Republican from the committee when he opposed the bill. And the right wing has attempted to shorten early voting in Ohio to suppress low-income voters who largely oppose Senate Bill 5 by the polling. Let's bring in Ohio firefighter Doug Stern. Mr. Stern, good to have you with us tonight. I guess you bet. This pretty much illustrates the intensity of this fight in Ohio. Have you spoken with Marlene Quinn, and what did she say?
Well, I had the opportunity yesterday morning to sit down with Marlene a little bit, and when I sat down, we were talking a little bit about what happened, and we were getting her to sign the papers that we could send to have her voice heard that she opposes Senate Bill 5 and Issue 2. And she'd not yet seen the commercial, so she knew what she was signing. I wanted to show her the commercial. While we were sitting there while she was watching it, she actually started crying. She turned over to me and she said, I'm sorry I got you guys into this. I'm sorry I let the firefighters down. And that really hit me hard, because here's this great-grandmother who only wanted to support the firefighters in the best interest of her neighborhood, of her community, of her city. And we've got Columbus politicians who underhandedly take her words and her image. They didn't do anything to rebut her image. They used her image against her with words that she never meant to say.
Doug, what's your reaction to this group twisting her words about how firefighters had touched her life so personally?
I'm angry, Ed. I think it's safe to say the 10,000 firefighters, professional firefighters in Ohio, are angry too. We can take it. We're big boys. We're big girls. We knew when we got into this fight that the slings and arrows were going to be coming at us. We never expected them to come at one of our supporters like this, somebody that was just, like I said before, doing what was best for her community. They went above and beyond. This is below the belt, but it's really not shocking if you look at the way they've disrespected public employees and the middle class from the beginning of this. They locked us out of the State House.
Yeah. Does this law help or hurt firefighters?
I can't believe anybody could look at this law and think that it helps.
Yeah. As you understand it, I mean, this is bad for your profession, bad for public safety.
Well, Ed, it's bad for everybody because we come to conclusions, we come to resolution with our city, with our employer, by sitting down at the table together. We've resolved everything from, financial issues to safety issues together. And that word is important, together, because without collective bargaining, there is no togetherness. There's no working towards a common goal. We sit down and, my kids said it best. It's the city saying maybe at the table. They know what maybe means if they hear it when we're out. When we get home, maybe means no. And for some reason, the Columbus politicians don't think we can understand that.
Doug Stern, do you see plenty of momentum building to get rid of this law in the November election? It's issue number 2 on the ballot, and you're advocating a no vote. Is the momentum building?
I think it is, Ed. And I think this stunt this week by Building a Better Ohio has resolved firefighters more so than ever to get out and get the no vote on issue 2. And they're canvassing. They're going door to door more than I've seen before because they see what happened. They don't want our voice to be silenced or our voice to be changed like they changed Marlene's voice in that commercial.
Yeah, well, the Associated Press asked the governor, Governor Kasich, what he thought of it. He thought it was just fine. What's your response to that?
The governor can say whatever he wants, and that he's certainly entitled to his opinion. I think what we're going to see on November 8th is the opinion of the people of Ohio is going to be no on issue 2 because they don't stand by to let these kind of cheap shots happen against one of their citizens. All
right. Doug Stern, good to have you with us tonight. Thanks for what you do. Ohio firefighter Doug Stern. Speaking of firefighters, officials in Georgia, see, what they want to do is save money by putting prison inmates in charge of these duties. That's in the playbook next. Stay with us.